what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Derica and you are watching Shelf Love with D. Welcome back to another video, y'all. Today is a rainy day. Matter of fact, it's going to be raining all week. You may hear some thundering in the background, a little rainy day ambiance, but as y'all can tell, the lighting is not that great. But I really wanted to do a reading vlog with book 2 of Mary Monroe. I think it's called the Alabama series. Book 1 was Miss Wiggins, and now I am starting book 2, which is Empty Vows. And I really enjoyed doing that reading vlog with y'all, so I thought it only fitting to do book 2 as a reading vlog as well. So we just have to take what we can get. It's a rainy day and it is what it is. All right, so before we get into this vlog and get into the foolishness of what is going on with Hubert, or Herbie? I'm mixing books. Hubert. Let's go ahead and take attendance. Go ahead and please like, comment, share, subscribe. Drop your favorite emoji or green heart, sunflower, book stack, whatever. Just letting me know that you were here with me today, rocking with me in yet another video. All right, y'all, let's get into this book. And I do have the audio on this as well, so I may do a little immersive reading just to see like how I like that. I read Miss Wiggins all the way through, just physically, but I think I want to try some immersive reading this time around and just see if I like this series immersively or if I just like to read it physically. All right, let's get into it.
I done attended a lot of funerals in my life, but this was the first one with 2 bodies. Looking at them caskets sitting end to end in the front of Reverend Wiggins' church chilled me to the bone. I was so numb. I couldn't even feel the hard pew I was sitting on. I stopped crying so I could eavesdrop better on what the people sitting behind me were saying. Mother and son, don't they look peaceful? That rose-colored shroud Maggie got on suits her. She loved roses, sobbed a woman whose voice I didn't recognize. They both look as good in death as they did in life, remarked the man who lived next door to Hubert. The person who spoke next had such a husky voice, I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. I declare, Hubert must have spent a fortune on them bronze caskets, and all of them flowers. I tuned everybody out after the woman who used to help Maggie prune her and Hubert's pecan tree said, I wonder what Hubert is going to do with all of them nice frocks and hats Maggie left behind. Right now, we're not feeling too sorry for Hubert considering how he treated Maggie toward the last of the book. I'm still a little upset with him, but we're going to have some grace. Wonder what Hubert is going to do with all of them nice frocks and hats Maggie left behind. Me and her was the same size. I wanted to turn around and say something, but I was in so much grief. I didn't know what to say that I hadn't already said in the past few days. When I couldn't stand to look toward the front of the church no more, I read the program over and over. By the 5th time, I had memorized every word, especially the ones that had been misspelled. I started crying again. Sister Jessie, you look like you were about to fall out. Can I get you a glass of water? One of the ushers asked me as he leaned over. Thanks, but I'm fine. I sniffled and wiped my eyes and nose with my handkerchief.
I just got to the part where Jessie was telling she's reminiscing, telling Maggie, you know, how she's tired of her husband beating her and she's thinking about killing him. And Maggie's response is, I can't believe my ears. How could you even think about killing Orville? I know you know your Bible. Killing somebody is a sin against God. Now, Maggie. And then Jessie responds, I know that, but if you was in a bad situation, a real bad one like I am, you couldn't kill nobody. And then Maggie says, you know me. I can't even swat flies. I shoo them out the window. All life is precious. Now, Maggie. Over here talking about they wish they could have some of Maggie's gumbo. That last batch of Maggie's gumbo. If you only knew, Hubert, that was for you.
You still there? Yeah, I just had to lean over and swat a horsefly on my counter, she explained. You sound tired, so I'll let you go. When I got back in the bed, all I could think about was what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I didn't have no close men friends who wasn't like me that I could do manly things with, such as fishing and hunting, or to talk sports with. I occasionally played checkers and dominoes with a few of the regular men I knew, like my mechanic and the 2 cousins who helped me run my funeral.
Good morning. It is early in the morning, and yes, I have bald eyes once again. But y'all, I am at the tail end of empty vows. I want to say 70 or 80%, and it's cool. This definitely feels like a filler book. Possibly could have been skipped, but I'm committed to the series. Y'all know I love me some Mary Monroe, so I'm gonna have some grace. If I'm not mistaken, this one was written during COVID, and I'm gonna blame it on that, on the need to pay bills, on the need to get a book out during this time. It's just not reeling me in like Miss Wiggins did. It's not as exciting. It's kind of really on the boring side. There's been a couple of points where I laughed out loud, but it's not been very entertaining or messy, like what Miss Wiggins was giving us. So I'm gonna finish this up, and then I'll be back with my thoughts. One thing that is for certain about Mary Monroe's characters, at least in this series, they definitely are some liars and quick on their feet with it.
But whenever I was with them, they would always get around to discussing all the women they'd been to bed with or wanted to go to bed with. When Maggie was alive, I had a good excuse to be closed-mouthed about my personal life, so I never discussed women I wanted to get involved with. The same men teased me about being such a goody two-shoes, but that never bothered me. If they knew that I felt the same way about men that they felt about women, they wouldn't have even wanted to associate with me, and there was no telling how far they would go to chastise me for duping them. It had been easy to keep my secret when I was a young boy because everybody thought me and Maggie was boyfriend and girlfriend. She had told me things she had never told anybody else, so I knew I could trust her. When I told her what I really was, she wanted to help me keep my secret hid.
She said, I can still find somebody if I went out there more, but most of the men around here are only interested in women who will wallow around in bed with them. I ain't giving up my sugar too soon. I don't want the men to think I'm easy. And then her sister rolled her eyes and said, girl, you ain't got but a teaspoon of sugar left in your bowl. Don't do her like that. Don't do her like that. She trying to save her sugar for later. Trying to make them wait.
Shortly after my confession, I asked her to marry me so everybody would continue to think I was normal. I was 20 and she was 17 when we exchanged vows. We desperately wanted to become parents, so we'd appear to be a normal married couple. There was no way for us to get a baby the regular way because we had no desire or intention of ever having sex together. That was the reason we came up with a scheme to set up a stranger and trick him into getting her pregnant. After only a few visits to places where frisky men like to drink and hang out, Maggie found a good prospect that looked similar to me. As soon as he got her pregnant, she dumped him, and we focused on the baby she was carrying. For more than 20 years, we'd had the perfect life raising our son Claude. He was such a blessing, and he grew up to be as righteous and upstanding as me and Maggie.
I was really looking forward to cooking for Hubert at his house Tuesday evening. But the last thing I wanted to do was help him find a new lady friend. For one thing, I didn't know one single woman in Lexington who deserved a man like him. I wasn't in love with him, yet, but my sister had convinced me that he had everything it took to make a woman happy. Just thinking about being the lady friend of the most eligible colored man in town was enough to get my juices flowing. The only thing was, I had to do something to put some doubt in his parents' minds that would make them stop trying to get him interested in other women. He'd been out that way since they started finding the bodies of them murdered colored women, I said with a shudder. Oh, we ain't going to be nowhere near that spot. That killer only dumps them women way off at the end of the lake, in the thickets. All right then, but I can't stay long. I was weaker than I thought, because I gave in quicker than I wanted to. It had stopped raining by the time we got to the lake. Conway parked his car near some picnic tables. He reared back and stared at me like he couldn't figure out what to do with me, now that we was finally alone. I didn't wait for him to figure it out. I wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed him so hard and long, he started laughing when I turned him loose. I waited long enough for that, he said. Me too, I admitted. I was surprised when all that backed up passion I'd been holding in for almost a year oozed out of me. We scrambled out of the car and got in the back seat. I couldn't slide my bloomers off fast enough. I experienced more pleasure in 15 minutes than I had in years. On the way home, we didn't discuss what we'd just done. Our conversation was all about work, church, and a few other mundane things. But when Conway stopped in front of my house, he asked, "When can I see you again?" "What do you mean?" I asked dumbly. "I hope this wasn't a one-time thing, especially after it took me so long to get you to come around. And the way you was yipping and yapping and flipping and flopping. I know you had a good time." I was fixing to become the new Mrs. Wiggins. It was too good to be true. I couldn't believe how much God was blessing me. If somebody had gave me $1 million, I couldn't have felt no better than I did now. I couldn't imagine the look on Blondine's face when she heard the news. I'd probably never see it, because I went out of my way to avoid her. We shopped at the same meat market and a few other places, so now I only went just before each one closed for the day. Most of the folks I knew liked to do their shopping earlier in the day. But 3 days ago, when I got home from work, I seen that heifer heading into the house next door where Suki's mama lived. She saw me long enough to give me a dirty look, but she didn't say nothing. When I left to go to Hubert's house, she was leaving at the same time. She didn't say nothing to me, but she said something to Suki I couldn't hear, and then she busted out laughing. I didn't care how she treated me no more. I was fixing to get married, and that was enough to cancel out all the other negative stuff going on in my life.
All right, y'all. So we have completed book 2 in the Lexington, Alabama series, or the Miss Wiggins series is what we'll call it. Empty Vows. Words, thoughts. It was okay. It was okay. Like I said, it waited to the last 15-20% of the book to really bring that kind of excitement and drama. Let me see if I can. So I waited till the last 15 to 20 minutes of the book to bring that excitement, drama, that messiness that we were getting in Miss Wiggins. And even that what we got was not as of an encore like it was in Miss Wiggins. Miss Wiggins was a page turner. She was a mess, and something was constantly happening in Miss Wiggins every other page. This book was very much a slower pace. And we're kind of just seeing how Hubert is living his life and trying to find a sense of normalcy since losing his loved ones. I won't say who, just in case you have not read Miss Wiggins. But it was just okay. I'm still committed to the series. I would say, of course, as you already know, this is my least favorite out of the 2 that I've read so far. I'm hoping that the books 3 and onward are a bit more exciting, are a bit more of a page turner, and has that messy element that I loved in Miss Wiggins. I am committed to the series still. I'm excited to see how all this ends, how Miss Mary Monroe wraps it all up. I think there may be 5 or 6 books in the series total. I want to complete this series and then dive into some more of Mary Monroe's back catalog. But this one, it was just okay. Not much was happening. It just was a lot of fillers, like I said earlier. There's really not much to say. So I think that is going to conclude this vlog. I was thinking about adding another book in there because I am in the middle of Hold My Girl, but I think I'm pretty far into it that I'll just discuss it in my weekly wrap up. Let me know if you have read book 2, Empty Vows, of the Miss Wiggins series. Let me know if you've completed the Miss Wiggins series, which I think is actually Lexington, Alabama series or something like that. I went ahead and looked on Goodreads and I saw that book 2 and 3 of this series did not get very high reviews. Overall, the star rating was about 4 stars, but as far as comments, everyone was saying that both of those books were really slow. But by book 4, they were now this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. This is, what I've been expecting with this series. So I'm I hope I don't have to get through one more slow book before it picks back up, but I am going to be reading that. I'm pretty sure that my library has book 3. So I'll probably check and see, that way I don't have to wait till I buy it. But I will be purchasing this entire series, and I will be purchasing all Mary Monroe's books because I just love her writing. It was a very easy read, very quick read. I love her writing style. I love how when she's writing these Southern books, you know, she uses Southern dialects and things like that. I will give a heads up that if you read audio, there's a male and a female that are reading the book, or that are narrating the book. However, I really enjoyed the male's voice for when he was speaking from the male's point of view, as well as the woman's. The woman's voice, which was crazy. I liked her voice for all the other female characters that she was doing. I did not like her voice that she chose for the main female character, which is Jessie. It seems like she was trying to sound old and country, and it just wasn't working. But I liked everybody else's voice that she did. So just a heads up on that. The audio may not be your cup of tea, but thankfully I had the book, and so I didn't just have to strictly read it that way. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. Sometimes when you read a book and it's so exciting, it's a page turner, you run immediately get the next one. You just assume the next one is going to be that great, right? Because you would think they'd get better and better. But this one fell a little bit flat. But like I said, I'm committed to the series. I will be picking up book 3 as soon as I am able. I'm trying to knock out the books that are on my TBR, books that I've already checked out with my library or on Libby. Yeah, that April TBR. I don't even know how many books I actually read off of there. I'm gonna have to actually check and see. But yeah, me and TBRs, we're not going together right now. We're just not. So I'm in a mood reading place. Let me know if you are doing well with sticking to your TBR, what you are currently reading. I'm just mood reading and going with the flow of how I feel, and I've been enjoying it. Sometimes I do like the TBRs for the structure, and sometimes I just want to free fall, right? So that's it, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging with me in this video. Sorry that the book was not as exciting, but hey, another book down, another book read, another book to check off that list, right? No, not all books are going to just be super exciting or 5 stars. This was definitely not a 5-star, and this is not a 4-star either, but we're not going to discuss it because we don't talk about Mary Monroe at all over here. That's it, y'all, and until next time, don't forget to show yourself some love today.